There are places in the world where attention still gathers. A small bookstore is one of them. Not because it is large, not because it holds every book, not because it can compete with the endless inventory of the digital marketplace. A local bookstore matters because it is particular. It belongs somewhere. It has a door, a window, a counter, a shelf that someone arranged by hand, a corner where a reader lingers longer than expected, and a bookseller who knows that a book is not only an object but a possible turning point. The School of AI Mastery Press created this doorway to honor places like this. Independent bookstores, specialized bookstores, used bookstores, children's bookstores, spiritual bookstores, academic bookstores, neighborhood literary rooms, shelves tucked into old buildings, rooms that remember conversations, counters where someone can still say, "I think this one may be for you." These places hold a kind of beauty that cannot be generalized. A grand library may awe us with scale, but a local bookstore often reaches us through intimacy. Its power is not that it contains everything. Its power is that someone cared enough to choose what belongs here. That care is part of the learning. That is why we believe local bookstores are already experience universes. They are worlds of attention, worlds of memory, worlds of encounter. Worlds where the physical book still asks the body to participate. You must enter, you must browse, you must touch the spine, you must turn the page, you must decide whether to carry something home. In an age when so much learning has been flattened into screens, local bookstores preserve a necessary resistance. They remind us that knowledge should still have rooms, that ideas should still have shelves, that discovery should still have accidents, that a person may walk into a bookstore looking for one thing and leave with a question they did not know they were ready to ask. At the School of AI Mastery Press, we are not trying to replace this. We are trying to make it luminous. We are learning to create what we call experience universes, designed fields of image, voice, story, reflection, practice, correspondence, and crafted intelligence. An experience universe does not begin by asking you to disappear into the digital. It begins by asking you to arrive, to stand somewhere, to notice, to enter through a physical threshold, a book, a letter, a room, a placard on a bookstore counter, a printed image that invites you to slow down before you scan. The digital door may open, but the physical world anchors the crossing. That is why this placard is here. It is not a conventional advertisement. It is a small threshold. It was created to show how a bookstore can become a living doorway into a new kind of learning. When you scan one of its QR pathways, you may hear a narration. You may enter a story. You may be guided through an image. You may encounter a historical figure, a philosophical question, a course, a memory practice, a companion reflection, or an invitation to begin your own experience universe. One path may carry the main story. Another may open a short teaching. Another may ask you to close your phone, look around the bookstore, choose one shelf, and notice what kind of world it preserves. Another may invite you to write to the School of AI Mastery and begin a threshold of your own. The same light appears in many forms. Image, voice, book, room, QR practice, correspondence, crafted intelligence. But the purpose is not novelty, the purpose is learning. More precisely, the purpose is to help people learn how to see books differently, to see technology differently, to see themselves differently inside the act of learning. Artificial intelligence is changing the conditions of education, authorship, memory, and imagination. But if we are not careful, it can also pull human beings farther away from the local, the physical, the embodied, the humanly chosen. So our question is not simply, what can AI do? How can crafted intelligence help us return to attention, rather than flee from it? How can today's artificial intelligence serve bookstores, rather than erase them? How can a local literary room become a portal into deeper learning without surrendering its soul to the screen? How can image, voice, story, and companion-guided reflection bring a person back to the shelf, the page, the hand, and the world? That is the work of this campaign. We call it Bookstores as Doorways. Each participating bookstore may receive a custom threshold placard created for its own ecosystem. Not a generic poster, not a one-size-fits-all marketing piece, a curated doorway. The image, narration, QR pathways, and experience universe can be designed around the bookstore's character, its neighborhood, its history, its specialization, its readers, its booksellers, its shelves, its local mythology, its sense of place. A mystery bookstore should not open the same world as a children's bookstore. A philosophy bookstore should not sound like a travel bookstore. A used bookstore has different ghosts than a new release table. A spiritual bookstore holds different silences than a science bookstore. A local bookstore is not interchangeable, so its doorway should not be interchangeable. The School of AI Mastery Press will work with bookstores to create threshold experiences that honor their uniqueness while inviting readers into a broader practice of multimodal learning. A visitor may scan the placard and enter a small experience universe. They may listen for 2 minutes. They may follow a question. They may send the $20.84 threshold offering to begin their own customized experience. They may commission a larger experience universe for a course, a family archive, a historical journey, a philosophical walk, a creative project, or a personal threshold. And when offerings or commissions begin through a bookstore's doorway, the bookstore can share in the benefit. Because this work should not simply use local bookstores as scenery. It should support them. The future of learning should not bypass the rooms that preserved reading. It should strengthen them. It should bring people back through their doors. It should help a bookstore visitor realize that the shelf in front of them is already a portal, that every book carries a world, that every world asks for a reader, that every reader brings a life. This is also why the School of AI Mastery remains grounded in ethical practice. When we use crafted intelligence, we say what it is. We do not pretend it is human. We do not pretend it is magic. We do not use immersion to manipulate. We do not use personalization without consent. We do not turn the reader into raw material. We design with care. The human remains the author of the crossing. The technology serves the threshold. The bookstore remains a place of dignity. The reader is invited, not captured. This matters because experience universes are powerful. They can make stories feel alive. They can place a person inside history. They can let someone walk beside Darwin, enter a Renaissance studio, sit inside a philosophical dialogue, explore a future classroom, or return to a memory with new attention. They can help people learn through image, sound, movement, reflection, and conversation. They can make difficult ideas visible. They can make abstract learning embodied. They can help someone see themselves not as a passive consumer of content, but as a participant in meaning. But power requires stewardship. The School of AI Mastery Press exists to practice that stewardship. We believe books still matter. We believe local bookstores still matter. We believe artificial intelligence must be guided by ethical clarity, not spectacle alone. We believe multimodal learning can help more people enter the same light through different doors. And we believe the future of education should not be isolated, frictionless, and disembodied. It should be relational, local, beautiful, careful, alive. So if you are standing in a bookstore and seeing this placard, receive it as an invitation. Scan one pathway. Listen. Look around. Notice the shelves. Notice the people. Notice the quiet labor that made this room possible. Then ask yourself, what world would help me learn? What figure would I walk with? What question would I enter? What course would I take if it could meet me through image, voice, story, practice, and crafted intelligence? What might I discover about myself if learning became a world I could step into? And if you are a bookseller, bookstore owner, curator, publisher, teacher, librarian, or steward of a local literary space, we invite you to contact the School of AI Mastery Press. Let us imagine a doorway for your bookstore. Let us create a custom threshold placard that honors your room, your readers, and your ecosystem. Let us help your bookstore become visible as what it already is. A living place of memory, a guardian of attention, a local chamber of discovery, an experience universe waiting to speak. Because the future of books does not belong only to the largest platforms. It belongs also to the small rooms where a reader still pauses. It belongs to the neighborhood shelf, the handwritten recommendation, the worn counter, the bookseller's eye, the unexpected discovery, the local doorway. The School of AI Mastery Press is opening this campaign because we believe that today's artificial intelligence, used with care, can help people return to books rather than abandon them. It can help local bookstores become more visible, more participatory, more luminous, and more deeply connected to the future of learning, not by becoming less physical, but by letting the physical room open selected digital chambers, not by replacing the bookseller, but by honoring the bookseller as a threshold keeper, not by reducing books to content, but by revealing books as living worlds. This bookstore is a doorway. The placard before you is one small threshold. The QR codes are not the destination. They are hinges. The story begins when you scan. It deepens when you return to the page. It becomes real when you carry the question back into your life. And it continues when you write, speak, learn, preserve, and share what you have seen. Welcome to Bookstores as Doorways. Welcome to the Experience Universe campaign from the School of AI Mastery Press. The future of learning is not only on the screen, it is here. On the counter, on the shelf, in the room, in the book, in the hand, in the local place where attention still knows how to gather.